Welcome to Talk Sense. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Jamaica's 2022 gun law that was passed, where if you are caught with an illegal firearm, that will land you in prison for 15 years mandatory. Now we know how Jamaica run, so the big question is, how well will this actually work in terms of reducing gun violence and gun possession? Or it's just another law on paper? We have seen things like this before. Now on the surface, this law seems well serious. It's like government sending a strong message that they mean business. If you are caught with a gun, 15 years, no parole, no deals, no discount. But this is Jamaica, and we know how Jamaica run. And even until this year, we are still seeing illegal firearms being seized by the police every single week. Sometimes people get hold with gun, other times they just find the gun alone and they don't find the perpetrator. They don't find out who own the gun. So it make you wonder, based on these findings, how serious Jamaicans really take this law. Nothing wrong with the law itself, but here's the truth. Laws don't change behavior until people believe that they'll face the stiff consequences for their actions. Because how criminals operate, once they feel that the system is weak, or if they believe that they won't get caught, or if they get caught, they can, run a bribe on a squaddy, then the 15 years in prison don't seem to bother them at all. Remember, guns are still being found by the police every single week. If the government really understands psychology, we know that people respond to actions and not to threat. So a tough law like this won't mean anything if Jamaicans don't believe it will be enforced as outlined in the law. But make we take a look back on a page out of New York City book. Because in the 1990s, New York City had a serious problem with violent crimes, murders, robberies, and gang warfare. But one man made a change. Mayor Giuliani came up with a 3 strikes rule, which means that if you are convicted of 3 serious crimes, what they call felonies, that was it for you. Straight up, you get life in prison. It was controversial, but guess what happened? Crime dropped in New York, and it dropped well fast. The people them changed because they realized that the system was actually serious. It wasn't just mouth talk. So when people see friends, families, and gang leaders being sent to prison permanently, then things change because they realize that the law was being strictly enforced. Now come back to Jamaica. So we have this 15-year gun law, but you know what we realize? It's as if most Jamaicans don't believe that getting caught with a gun will ever happen to them. So the law itself don't scare people the way it should. But in the same breath, we also have to remember that Jamaica have a gun culture, which is not just about crime. For many, it's really about survival, It's their tool for self-defense. Because as we know in Jamaica, for some of these communities, a gun represents power for the powerless. Beyond how we see things, it's a tool to ease off threats and provide protection to the community that sometimes comes under attack from other community members. As a result, for some people, even though they know about the 15-year sentence, it really comes down to a choice between prison and the real threat of being killed. And so for many, prison is the easier choice. Because in the garrison, if you get caught off guard without a weapon could mean a straight death sentence. And that's why the law alone not going to be able to fix this. The people them have to get involved because the whole thing is complex, and we all know that it's culturally deep-rooted by now. Started off with politics and it just mushroom and reach a stage. So now that we are here, what's the real solution now? The thing about it is that people will only respond when they know that if they get caught, they'll have to face the punishment and lose their freedom. That's what happened in New York. So again, the law must be enforced without exceptions. But harsh law alone won't fix a lot of these issues. Opportunities will have to be provided for the young people so they have an alternative source to put them energy into. And some of the things the government already working on it. They have heart that is encouraging the youth to invest in skill training. And importantly, trust will have to be rebuilt between the police and the people in the communities, because that's strained a mighty long time ago. And that is why the community police even come into place, because they were doing what the police after times could do, because the police not on the scene, not in the area to make sure say certain attack can go on, or so that the community members can defend themselves. So when all is said and done, the Jamaican gun law is a really good move, but it will only work when examples are made and the fear factor of punishment kicks in, and so the weapons seem to be less attractive when people think about losing their freedom. Once that happens, Jamaicans will respond more readily, because nobody don't want to spend their life in prison. Jamaica can definitely be cleaned up, but the police have to be consistent in their enforcement drive, and they also need to include social interventions. So we have seen it work elsewhere. El Salvador, for example, recently in the news, one of the safest countries in Latin America right now. So it's up to us, government and collectively as a people, to make it work here in the land of paradise, here in Jamaica. So based on all of what I say, what you think? What do you think? Is this 15-year sentence making a difference? Are we just scratching the surface of a much deeper problem? So let's continue to reason in the comments. If you are someone who believes in solutions, not just complaints, then hit the like button, share, and subscribe to Talk Sense. Because when we understand the problem clearly, we can fix it. And here's the funny thing about Jamaica and the man who are bust the gun. Even the gunman, they love it, When there's peace and the place quiet and a gun now bust, they're happy when they know so they can sleep in peace. And they don't have to worry about resting in peace. Jamaica, make we fix our little island of paradise. Let's build our country where we can all live and enjoy with freedom.